Ideogram 4.0 is finally here, and in this video I will go over the updates with you. I'll show you the new way you can generate images with a transparent background, and we'll also compare the new model to the previous one as well as Nano and GPT. First of all, let's take a quick look at the list of what's new. We've got open weights, which essentially means you can download the 4.0 model and you can run it on your PC. If your graphics card is good enough, that means you can use Ideogram 4.0 without needing a subscription to the web service and without needing an API key. So this is definitely really cool. It's not an easy setup though. I've been working on it for a while, and it's also extremely limited in terms of the prompts that you can input. So I'm still working out on how to actually take advantage of this, and I will definitely update you if I find a good way to use this model locally. Then Ideogram's got new branding, so there's a new logo. That might confuse you, but that is just the rebrand. What's also important for POD is they have higher resolution now, so every image generated comes at 2K or 2000 pixels, which is really good for t-shirt design. That means you only need to really upscale it or double the quality from there. Frontier text rendering, so more accuracy when it comes to small text. We'll definitely test that in this video as well. And native transparency, meaning you can generate with a clean alpha channel, and I'll show you a bunch of examples of that too. So we're right here in the Ideogram website, and you can see the new model 4.0 right here, best quality at 2K resolution. So make sure you've got that selected. Besides that, these settings haven't really changed, so you can still go between 1 of 4 images, quality, turbo, or default, and you've got all these different aspect ratios built in, as well as you can enter a custom ratio down here on aspect ratio if you're after that. And for POD, I still recommend the square setting or 4x5 if you're designing t-shirts. Those are kind of the go-to aspect ratios. Now, if we hit enter on this prompt, it goes into the My Images queue right here. The interesting thing is you can now, within your prompt, instead of having a black background, you can change this right here to transparent background, and then we can hit enter again, and we'll compare those two once they've finished right here. As you can see, I've been running a lot of different prompts through this to test it out. We'll do a side-by-side comparison towards the end of this video, and it can definitely generate with a transparent background. But that doesn't mean that it's a perfect job. Obviously, we've seen ChatGPT do that before, but ChatGPT was never really good at removing the background cleanly or generating on a transparent background cleanly. So we'll take a closer look at that in Photoshop and actually zoom in. The first prompt right here started generating. This is with the 4.0 model and a black background. This is a bootleg style design, so it's purposely got that kind of 3D effect and the glowing moon. The other ones with the transparent background are still loading right here. Meanwhile, we can see over here the resolution that this is 2000 by 2000, just slightly amended with our aspect ratio. And when you click download, you can actually change this size to 4K or 8K. This is definitely enough for t-shirts, especially Amazon merch. So I would download at 4K resolution right here if I was going to use this for my designs. And now we've also got the other versions finished with the transparent background and the prompt. And at first glance, this does look like a really good job. Let's actually download a few of these and pull them into Photoshop. So you can also, by the way, now you can select multiple like this right here, click download, and it's going to save them at 2000 by 2000 pixels, because that is how these images natively generate. All right, so here we are in Photoshop. I've pulled one of these up, and if we zoom in, it does definitely look like a good job at first glance. Like I can't really see any background that's left over. Let's add another layer right here for the background color. Change this to white, just so we can more easily see anything that remains. Maybe also try like a very strong pink right here. So it does definitely look like a very clean removal to me. And let's disable this right here and actually zoom in the middle, because this is where it becomes problematic, I think. If you look at some of the details in the actual graphic, so the things that didn't get removed, you can see the pixels shining through. So we have essentially a half transparent graphic in a lot of instances right here. And I've tested this, I tested this before we started recording. You get this quite a bit where, yes, the background gets very cleanly removed, but the graphic itself is in some cases half transparent. As you can see here as well, some of this has that kind of PNG pixel pattern behind the actual color, and that's what's supposed to get printed on a shirt, right? Is the actual graphic. If it looks like that, it will probably be a messy print, because you can't print half transparency. You can't like use 50% of the ink and then it looks exactly like this. It just doesn't work. So It's a little bit hard to explain, but essentially you might be fooled if you have this on a black background by the fact that it looks absolutely perfect. It even looks really good on white right here, but it's just because it's hiding these half transparent pixels, where essentially you're going to have part of this graphic that is at like 50 opacity. Imagine trying to print this. That wouldn't work. Yes, not all of the graphic looks like that, but some of it around the edges or some of it right here in the middle does definitely have a lot of half transparent pixels, which would make me worry that once I upload this to Amazon, people buy it, the print doesn't look good, they're going to return it. And that's obviously going to affect my performance of the t-shirt, right? If it's constantly getting returned, Amazon won't really push it in the algorithm. So that's something to be aware of. Let's open a different example here. So here we've got a dinosaur, T-Rex howling at the moon, white background, black background, all looks fairly good. But then if we disable the background color and zoom in, you can see once again, there is the checkered pattern right here all over the place. It's also kind of in the dinosaur's snout. Again, if I enable the background, it's fine. That's because the background color fills in that empty space, the half opacity. But if I disable it, you can see that there's definitely a lot of this graphic that is not at 100% opacity, which is a shame, because I do think in a lot of cases, the way that Ideogram generates the images right now is perfect. If we look at this example right here with the silly goose in jail, this has done a really good job generating on a transparent background. It works on different colors, and it's actually really clean as well. If we look at some of the gaps right here in the text, it's very, very impressive. And I think with this goose, actually, there's no issue. There's no like half transparency in this goose as far as I can tell, and I would be happy with this. So it does work for some graphics for sure. It's just some of the more complex ones where you have more going on, it does really fall apart, and you have to kind of always double check. Now, one thing that you can do, in fact, if we look back at this right here, one thing that you can do to kind of improve this low opacity is you can just duplicate the layer a few times. So if I duplicate this a few times, you can see that some of this is now looking better than before, but obviously that just adds manual work, which that's the whole point of a background remover or transparent generator, right? We want to save work, so that is a little workaround that might help you in some cases if there's just some small areas that need fixing. But besides that, I wouldn't fully rely on this to always do a great job. It is fantastic for many POD style graphics, but as soon as it gets more complicated, you might have, if there's a lot of colors in the design, you might have some half transparency. I think this one is easier because there's only literally like one color. There's no like glowing stuff. But with these kinds of graphics right here, I would still use the halftone converter, which I showed in my last video. Another cool new feature in Ideogram is that you can turn your text into layers and make it editable. And it's very simple with the layerized text button down here. If you click this, it adds a new task to your queue in the My Images tab. And by the way, I did misspell this, or there's a mistake here. It says welcome to summer, but that's another thing we can fix with this feature very quickly if we still wanted to use this exact outcome. So if we go to My Images, we've got these right here. And now if I want to edit the text, as you can see, it reloads right there, refreshes. We've got the 2 right here, and I can just delete that, for example, and I could say welcome up here. You could also change the angle. You can increase the size like this, and I could do the same with the bottom text. I could change this to a different font. I think this has Google Fonts built into it, so it's not always going to match exactly what the AI generated previously in terms of the font style, but it is definitely a cool way to kind of customize your designs without having to move to a separate tool. All right, let's do a side-by-side comparison. I'm using the same document and the same prompts right here that I used for GPT Image 2 versus Nano Banana, but now we have 2 new columns right here for Ideogram. This is the old logo, you probably recognize this. So this will be the Ideogram 3 results, and this new branding right here shows Ideogram 4.0. We're starting off with a very complex alphabet prompt where GPT-2, Nano Banana did a pretty impressive job. They're really accurate with this kind of stuff now. Ideogram claims to have better text accuracy. If we look at the 3.0 model, it was not doing a good job with this. So ABCO, that's already wrong, and there is no actual dinosaurs underneath those. Actually, that should be the heading, dinosaur alphabet. Yeah, so it didn't even manage to put the heading. And then if we look at the actual, C is for, it can't even spell those small words. That's Ideogram 3, right? So that's an older model, to be expected. And the new one, Ideogram 4, does have the heading dinosaur alphabet. Then if we zoom in, it does have A, B, C, C, E. Okay, so the order is already wrong. And if we look at some of the spelling up close, there is also things that it's messed up right here. So that's not very promising if you want to design very, very detailed and small text kind of graphics like this. Because if we look over to Nano Banana or GPT Image 2, I think visually you can already tell that the layout is a lot cleaner, and overall the accuracy right here is very on point in comparison. At a glance, I can't see a mistake. I did have to change the prompt from the previous video, by the way. We did have animals last time instead of dinosaurs, but for some reason I was getting errors with the animal alphabet from Ideogram 4. So maybe there's some like sensitive filters in there that stop you from generating certain words, and it got caught with the animals. I have no idea, but from this one, not too impressed. Obviously it's better. It's a step forward from Ideogram 3, but it's not quite there yet for the complex prompts. Then we have the Taco Tuesday right here, a two-tone design, which to be fair, Ideogram 3 right here on the left didn't do a bad job of. Just the graphic was a little bit, I don't know, a little bit boring or not really that suitable to the text, I would say. The new Ideogram did slightly better. It's not worlds different. I do prefer the graphic of the actual taco right there. So yeah, minor things. The halftone around right here, these little dots, halftone dots, does look pretty cool in comparison to the one on the left. But yeah, that's not miles apart. Some small progress. Here, I think what we can see for the kind of girly neon prompt with the headphones is that definitely the style and the aesthetic has changed a lot from Ideogram 3 to Ideogram 4. We have a lot more detail, looks more three-dimensional, more depth, which is not always the best for print to demand, right? Sometimes these kind of flat graphics designs can work a lot better. But if you want this kind of style, then I think Ideogram 4 is better to achieve it, because ChatGPT Image 2 and Nano Banana 2, they are all more in line with Ideogram 4, meaning I think Ideogram 4 has kind of more range. It can do this flat kind of stuff if you ask it to, and it can also do the more in-depth stuff with a lot more 3D. It wasn't really able to do that in Ideogram 3. You were always kind of getting these kind of flat graphics, which I think was why it was so popular for POD sellers. It's just falling behind on some of the, the accuracy and that kind of stuff since Ideogram 3 came out. And so now it does seem to have more range from what I can see, which is a good thing. I would say. Right. Then vintage right here, we've got sausage dog prompt, fairly simple prompt right there, not too descriptive. Ideogram 3 actually did a decent job of it. I've got friends in low places. Ideogram 4 went a little bit more wild with the actual layout because it's not described as much in the prompt. That was kind of the test right here, being very, very vague, not really describing much. I do prefer the layouts that ChatGPT and Nano Banana gave me though, and I almost think Ideogram 4 did the worst. It like zoomed out. I would read these on the left way more easily and prefer to take those as an upload than the one on the right. But that's just one prompt. Then we have ideation. So here the prompt is literally just make a funny sushi t-shirt design, right? And Ideogram 3 did raw power fueled by fish, and Ideogram 4 did rolling with the fishies, established, always hungry. Okay. Don't get that subheading down there, but I think the design on the right looks a little bit more attractive. Generally, like aesthetically speaking, the new model did do better. The phrases aren't great on either one, right? But that's natural. If you ask AI for a funny design, they're usually not that funny, and I think Nano Banana and ChatGPT didn't do that much better either. So yeah. Sadly, you have to be more specific, and you have to probably come up with better ideas than just relying on AI to come up with. And then we have the patent design right here at the end, which this was kind of a test to, again, figure out, can it do complex layouts and structures, and can it handle small text? Nano Banana and GPT-2 did quite well with that. Ideogram 3 actually doesn't look too bad until you zoom in. So zoomed out, it looks okay. It's almost comparable to what Nano Banana or GPT did. But as soon as we zoom in, you see some of the text. Yeah, it's just mush. So Ideogram 3 definitely failed this assignment, I would say. Ideogram 4 does do a lot better here. The text is, in fact, not mush. And if we zoom into some of the figures right here, this text looks better as well. Not perfect, and it doesn't really strike me as much as an actual like patent design as these results on the left. These look a little bit cleaner and more resembling patent, but it is definitely a massive step or leap forward from what Ideogram 3 was able to do, which is good. So generally, I would say going through these, yes, Ideogram 4, massive step forward. Does it reach up to Nano Banana GPT-2 when it comes to like print on demand designs? Probably not right now. Maybe if you have simple graphics and you want to just generate straight with the transparent background, you don't run into the same issues as I was running into right there with the half transparency, because a lot of your stuff is simple like this right here, then I think it's a really, really good choice, because it definitely has that POD feel down in a lot of results, and now it has a bit more range to also do some cool stuff like this. But if you're looking for accuracy and more complex things, I think these models are definitely still dominant, at least based on this test. It is an early test. Things also change over time. Maybe these models will get worse. Maybe Ideogram will get better. Who knows? We'll just have to wait and see. But I hope that this little comparison right here, as well as that warning about the transparent backgrounds and the explanation, helps you make a decision on which models you use moving forward. If you want to learn how to remove complex backgrounds like these at the click of a single button and actually get good print results as well, then check out this video right here, where I share a free tool that can do this absolutely perfectly.